Hello everyone, Ben here with a solo game of Granja. The solo game is set up basically the same as a normal game. You've got your farm board here with some starting bits and pieces and your 4 cards. And then on the main board, this is set up as per a 2-player game in that you've got 2 roof tiles to choose from and 5 dice to roll. And then the AI only really comes into it with blocking off certain areas with its markers. So in this case there's a random drawing of tiles and the AI is in spot number 2 and we're in spot number 3. So that basically means that the AI is going to go first, but this only really matters when it comes to choosing some of the actions and also during the transportation phase. We'll see how that works when we get to it. So we are technically in second place, but that doesn't really matter too much for most of the gameplay. So then, we've got 6 rounds to play through, and each round is broken up into 4 phases, and you've got them handily listed on your play rate here. So at least in phase 1, we're going to be doing some card play, followed by various income bits and pieces, and then we're going to try and choose a roof tile. So we've got 4 cards at least at the start, and in a normal round you would only play 1 of them during phase 1, but just to get things going a bit quicker, at least in round 1 you get to play 2 of them, and then refill as normal. And these cards are multi-use cards, so you've got 4 different uses basically. You've got fields on the left hand side, various income and bits and pieces on the right hand side, special abilities in the middle which can help tailor your farm in particular directions, and then market barrows at the top where you can deliver goods and then have them shipped out onto the main board. And this is related to the 4 areas of your farm board here, so basically where you play the card determines what particular aspect of it you make use of, and then locks out the other elements on the card. So looking at the cards, it's probably a good idea to try and pick, or at least determine whether you want to make use of any of the professions, because all the professions are unique, but for the rest of the cards there are going to be multiple elements, so multiple cards will have the various fields on them and the market barrow goods. So do we want to make use of any of these professions first of all and eliminate that as a consideration? Well, that might not be a bad idea actually, the merchant. To use... okay, maybe we'll save that one. So it's useful to determine whether you want to use any of these, because you only have 3 areas on your farm board where you can use those particular professions, and then once they're blocked off, that is it. So we might save the merchant and possibly play him or make use of him later on. So we'll save him for 1. So we've got these 2 we might want to use straight away. That's a handy variety of fields, certainly. I don't believe I'm particularly fussed about any of the other professions, so we might just skip those. And then looking at the main board, for deliveries we can do at least pigs initially, trade supplies and finished goods. So that's something to take into account as well. Well, if we can ship finished goods as an area we can start getting occupied into, that might be useful. So let's go for... well, we've got pigs on all 3 of these, so one of those can be pigs, and possibly... well, no, we've got pigs on a main board, so let's do grapes as a field, and we'll do olives as a field. So, and then we'll save these 2 for later on. So we've got pigs on our main board. Additional areas of pigs are useful if you're trying to breed pigs. We may go into that later on, we'll see. But for the time being, I think we'll do 2 cards as fields on the left hand side here, and we'll play them like that. So that was our 2 cards. We get back up to a hand limit of 3, at least at the start. You can increase that with additional cards played. So that's our 3rd card. Okay, so that's an additional way of getting more revenues. That's pretty good. So we'll see. And then we're on to income. We don't have any additional income on the right hand side of the board. We do, however, have field income, as it were, where we can start filling up our fields with the various supplies. So we've got olives and grapes there, and then those can get processed at a later point. So that's good. We're also going to need a pig as well. We'll have to see about that. Oh, and one thing I skipped was we should have a starting trade commodity for our setup. So that's that. Right, then we're on to roof tiles, and we can spend 1 coin, and we only have 1 coin to pick one of these. So you basically have a choice, and when you buy it, you place it into your unclaimed roof tiles there, and you may or may not get victory points, and then you can use it at a later date to get the benefit. So, oh, well, that's a pig. That's pretty much what we need, so we might go for that, or basically more card play, playing or drawing of a card. Well, I think the pig is probably a better idea. We may or may not get one coming up on the dice, but it's not a guaranteed roll, so I think we'll go for the pig, and at least we have that then sorted. So we'll spend the coin, and then that can go on our roof area, and it's an anytime action. We can basically just flip it over to get the benefit, so we may as well do that straight away. And we get the pig. So that's that sorted at least. And then we're on to phase 2, which is playing and rolling and playing of dice. So we have 5 dice to roll. Oh, well, there's a load of pigs then, fair enough. And they get placed out into the corresponding areas on the board. And then this is where the turn order comes into it slightly, in that because the AI is going first, it will take off a die, and at least at the start it takes it from the top downwards, so it's taken off one then. Then we get our choice and alternate with the AI as normal, and then the final die that's left over is for everyone to use. So, well, we've already got 1 pig, so I'm not necessarily fussed about using up another one for pigs, so we can probably let the AI have that one, which means that we could... Well, if I'd known this was going to come up, I might not have bothered with the fields, because that's multiple goods. It might be a useful idea to take a number 2 and do some additional card play. I don't think we're going to be hurting for goods, especially if we can grab this die. So the option that lets us take either one of any kind of good or a card might be useful for the card, certainly. And if we can possibly get this wheat field into play, then that's at least one of everything of the basic goods that we're producing, and that's probably a good spread of things. And then we might worry about the merchant later on in a future round. So yeah, I think we'll play this card for the wheat field, and if I can try and get it underneath the board somehow. So I probably should have... there are ways you can raise up your farm board ever so slightly to make the tucking of cards underneath slightly easier, but that seems to be fine, so that's good. And unfortunately this field just kind of sits around for the time being and doesn't get used until the next phase 1, where it then starts growing, but at least we have the option then, so that's good. So that was our option on the die, and then the heir is going to take the other number 1, which leaves us with number 3, and this is 2 of either good. So we can't have 2 of the same, unfortunately, but we can certainly have, let's go for, well, we're going to be growing all of them really, but grapes is more beneficial if you want to sell it. That gives us slightly more money, and we'll go for some more wheat, and we'll see how that works. So yeah, Right, so that was our two different types, and then the final die is used by everyone, or just us in this case really. And it's a choice of 2 upgrades, 1 upgrade and a siesta, or 2 siestas. And I think we definitely want to do 2 upgrades, and if we can do like that. So, well, actually no, what we want to do is take them from our fields rather than our storage areas, because goods that are on fields don't get moved off in any other way apart from delivering them and having them be upgraded. So unfortunately, when it comes back round to next year's growth, if there's still stuff sitting on the fields, that's tough luck. You've wasted an entire growth phase. So we'll get the stuff off there first, and then it can be available for growing next year. So fine. Unfortunately, that means we're still 1 upgrade short of being able to deliver to here. And I'd rather get that done sooner, because you get a benefit for that. And I think what we might do then is use our trade commodity. So, well, it's not particularly wasteful, I suppose. It is handy to use in this particular instance, so fine. And then the benefits of trade commodities are, again, you can choose a number of options, so more money, more resources, cards, but in this case we're going to go for 2 upgrades, so one of which will be the pig into processed meat, and the second one we could probably just place this grape into wine, so we'll do that. Okay, that seems reasonable. Then we're on to phase 3, and this is the transportation phase where you choose your tile, and then you get various siesta bits and pieces, and then you can do deliveries. Well, the AI unfortunately is going to go first, and basically the way this works is the AI picks a card from the top, and it is number 2. So you look at the market barrow sector here, and you determine which area the AI can place a marker in. It's number 2. So it will take one of its markers and pretty much in all instances try and knock out your markers first and place its own markers in such a way that it's hardest to take out. Well, there is only one number 2 space where it can place it, so it will go there. I believe that's the only number 2. The outside areas of the board are blocked off for 2-player games, so we can't use those at the moment. So the AI will place its marker there, and it won't affect us at all, which is good. We're going to get some points at the end of the round. And then we are second, so we do our transportation phase in its entirety. And this is still the same even if we go first. So in a normal game, what would happen is you would do your transportation up to a certain point, then you do adjusting of the siesta track and determine new player order, and then you carry on with transportation phase with the new player order. But in the solo game, you just do it all at once. So we get to choose our tile, and these would normally be face down and secret, and you choose it in secret, but for the purposes of a solo game, we can just have it face up to sea. And I think we definitely want to do 3 deliveries, and the siesta bit is relatively unimportant to this point, so we'll do that. We then move up the siesta 1 space, and there's the handy AI marker there just to determine that this is the particular point we have to reach in order to be considered first for the following round. So we weren't likely to get there unless we spent a lot of effort into going up the siesta track, so that's fine. So we'll do 1 siesta, 3 deliveries. We're still going to be second, so we'll keep our marker as number 2. And then we move into the actual delivery area. So we're going to take 1 wine, 1 food, and 1 processed meat. And they can all go up to this area of the board here. And we're done with it, which is very handy. So these can be saved over. You can put tokens in and then come back at a later round and try and finish them off. But if you can get them all done at once, it's even better. So yeah, we're done. So we get these markers moved off, and we get 1 placed in there to show that we've successfully completed this shipment area, and we can't ship to there anymore. So once you've filled up a particular area, that's it. You're then restricted from continually shipping to that area later on. So we get our marker there. We got the victory point that was in that area because we were the first to do so. We then get the benefit of that particular area, which is this tile, and that just goes on a board. And in the particular round that you grab the tile, you get the immediate benefit, which in this case is an extra shipment. That's not that bad actually. So we get an extra shipment, and then we get points on the siesta track as to our level up. Well, unfortunately, we're not at enough of a level that we're going to get points for it, so that's a bit of a waste, but never mind. But the extra shipment is quite good, because when we finish this particular area, we then unlock the next area along in the sequence to start shipping goods to, which I believe is this one. Yep, that's number 1, so that's that one. And we get the point for that as well. And this means that we can immediately ship to here if we wish to do so. And I believe we certainly do, because we have some wheat, and we can put wheat out onto there. So that's pretty good. And am I missing something? Oh, and we should have also gotten victory points for that. So whenever you get one of these bonus tiles, you also get points as per the round we're in. So round 1, we get an additional point. So that's not too bad. I don't think I'm missing anything else. So yep, that seems fine. And then this will flip over at the end of the round, and we'll get an ongoing benefit when it does so. But for the time being, we've done with deliveries. We've got our bonus delivery. We could pay, if we had money, we could pay an extra money to do an additional delivery, but we don't have any money. We're fresh out, so that's going to be a problem for buying a roof tile next round. Well, not much I can do now about it, I don't think. So fine. Then we're into phase 4, and phase 4 is where we look at the central area of the board here. So you determine points based on how many markers you've got. We have 1 marker, so we get 1 point. Street sweeper rumbles past. And then we get points based on the siesta track. Again, we're not quite far enough up the siesta track, so we don't get points for that. Then we reset siesta and flip over new roof tiles for the next round. So back down to 0 on that. So round 2 tiles come out. There's more pigs. Well, we can't buy any of these, so it's probably not anything we're missing, although we would like to grab that pig actually if we're shipping up to that particular farm area. But hopefully we'll get one of those on a die maybe, and we'll have to see. And then we're into round number 2. So we get another card to play, and unfortunately we have to play one first and then we get refilled up to our hand limit, so we have slightly less cards to make use of. But might be a good time to play the merchant, I think. So we'll do that. When we refill our fields, we're probably going to look at shipping everything out to the particular market area rather than starting to fill up market barrows. So we can probably hold off on that for at least another round. So if we use the merchant, well, we've got nothing particularly better to do with our card play, and then we can get additional revenue stuff, and then we refill back up to 3. So we've got chef, each upgrade costs 1 less silver. Well, if you're spending money for upgrades, I think something's gone slightly wrong with your engine, so maybe we won't be using that. Barter, when you fully supply a market barrier, you may return. That might be useful to save for when we actually start getting market barriers filled up. So yeah, we'll possibly look at playing that and then getting some of these filled with stuff. That seems like a reasonable idea. Okay, so we're into income. Again, no money on the right hand side unfortunately, and we should have flipped over this when it comes to the end of the round. And all various tiles and iconography in the game are handily color coded, so you can tell at a glance exactly what what phase you should be using them in. So this is phase 3 when it comes to transportation, so we can hold off on that for the time being. We are certainly going to get goods income, however. We're going to get one of each, which is very handy. Like so. And then roof tiles, and unfortunately we can't afford any of these. So we don't have the 2 coins, so we can't buy any of them, so we'll just leave them there and have to forget about them. That's not the worst thing in the world. There are 6 rounds to play through, and you have 5 areas on your roof area where you can place tiles. So if you miss a round, you haven't completely missed out on filling up your entire area, but obviously you want to do it while it's slightly cheaper rather than later on in the game where it gets a bit more expensive. So we'll see how that goes. We're on to dice, and we need these back, and we need to roll again. So that is 2 6s. Well, that's good for money, maybe. 3, a 5, and a 1. That's unfortunate because the 1 is going to get taken away straight away by the AI, who is going first, and that denies us our pig, which we could have very well used for shipping up here. We don't have a trade commodity, so we can't turn it in for a pig. Okay, it looks like we're going to have to wait till next year then. Unless we get 5 money, then spend 5 money to grab a pig, which is a tad wasteful, I think. Especially as it looks like we're not going to be able to claim anywhere near that much money. Oh dear. We could do 2 upgrades. Upgrade and siesta. I think we want to save these for shipping, so we don't necessarily want to upgrade them. We could maybe upgrade the wheat, because we don't have to ship that straight away. Okay then. We're going to get a lot more resources from that as well, maybe though. So if we do 1 delivery, which is also siesta, we could get a siesta from that, which would be 2. That's not quite good enough. We could do that, which is 2 deliveries, 3 deliveries, plus 3 siestas. That would be enough to put us into first place. I think what we might try and do then is we'll take the number 3 and we'll take the 2 goods of differing types. So we could probably go for another olive and a wheat, I think, like that. Yep, that should be about right. Then the AI will take off the number 5, and we didn't really have too much to make use of in the way of upgrades, so that's okay. And I think we can work around the siesta steps and getting ourselves into first place in other ways. So then we'll take off the number 6, and we'll get 2 money on a delivery, and I think we're going to be okay on delivery, so we'll just take the 2 money because we could probably use that in other ways. And then the other number 6 is free for all, so again we'll probably use that for 2 money and not the deliveries. Then we come to transportation phase, and the AI is again going to go first, and it's going to be does that? No, I don't think we can take that one into account. So it has to have an area where it can place a marker out, and this is not such a card, so we'll re-pick. No, okay. No, I didn't shuffle these very well, did I? It's all the top end cards. There we go. So it's again a number 2. Now the rules state that in the case of all areas being filled up that you can place a available value into, then you would take out an opponent's and place your marker there instead. I don't believe it specifies what happens if, or in the solo game at least, what happens to the AI if all available values are filled up with its own spaces. So I'll re-pick This may be helping out the AI somewhat, and we'll give it a value number 6, which it can certainly place one into. And it wants to go there because then it can knock out one of our markers. And yeah, that's about right. So it will take out our marker first as a preferential option, so that's fine. And then we can go later on at some point and try and put ones in here maybe and knock out these two, which is fine. So that is the transportation done for the AI. Then we get our transportation done in its entirety, which is going to be this particular one. So we're going to get 3 siesta steps as per our bonus as well. 1, 2, 3, which is great. That's enough for first place. Yep. And then we get 3 deliveries, so we can do 1 and 2 from our fields up to our available area. And then unfortunately we don't have a pig, so we can't ship out a pig. We'll have to do that next round. But we can spend a coin, or ship a coin as it were, and that will be our 3rd delivery. And then we're just 1 off from shipping out the pig next round, so that's fine. And unfortunately this wheat will have to stay on the field, and we can't sell it, and we can't ship it, so unfortunately it's going to hinder us slightly for getting extra resources next round, but not too much. We've still got the grapes and the olives there, so fine. We don't want to do bonus deliveries, so that's okay. And then we're on to the end of round cleanup. So we've got points for the board. We don't have any markers in there, so we don't get any points for that, unfortunately. We do, however, get a point from the siesta track, like so. And then that resets and new roof tiles come out. So this is getting ever more expensive and ever less likely that we're going to choose them, really. Okay, well, we're on to the next round, so we get to play another card, and I think at this point it's probably worth making use of our market barrows. So we could do the chef, well, this particular market barrow, which will allow us to get that wheat out, certainly. And we're going to get another grape, and we need to grab a pig from somewhere. Okay, no, I think we'll definitely play this for the market barrow. So we'll slot that into there, and that's that. And then we refill back up our hand. Card limit is increased by 2. That is not that great, to be honest, because we could play it for the right-hand side effect and get the card limit of 1 anyway, without having to waste an entire slot as a profession. So no, I don't think the farm girl's that worth it. So fine. We get income. We're going to get some goods onto our fields. If I can grab them out the tray and not drop them all over the floor. Okay. Let's see, we're not going to get any additional income from the right hand side. We might have to look at that at some point, but for the time being I think we're okay. Then roof tiles. Now we could spend 3, we have just enough money to buy a roof tile. That would hinder us for, well, not a whole lot. Although the next area that's going to open up on the market area is going to be coins. So we might want to save our coins for that. And if we spend 3, we get an extra delivery. I don't think we're too fussed about deliveries. We have at least 2, one of which is going to be a pig, one of which is going to be wheat, one of which is going to be or we could just do the 4 deliveries and unfortunately then definitely be last, I suspect, on the siesta track. I don't think I'm going to spend 3 on a roof tile, or at least not those roof tiles anyway, so we'll skip out that part. We're not forced to buy one if we don't have to, so we'll leave that. We'll go into dice rolling. Well, there's multiple pigs, that's good. At least the AI is not going to worry us too much with that. So yeah, that looks pretty good. Right then, we are first, so we don't have to worry about the AI snagging one away from us, so we can possibly hold off on maybe the pigs for the time being. We could, I'm going to be drowning in resources at this point, or some upgrades. Again, if we're not shipping these out, it might be worth upgrading them. Unfortunately, we can't necessarily sell upgraded goods, which is a bit of a shame. But that would allow us to possibly get up on the siesta track, and then we could use 4 deliveries to worry about deliveries. And we have the ability of the merchant, which is spending a victory point to use revenue space. So we are in round 3, so we could get even more resources if we spend a victory point. Well, again, not that fussed about that. I think we'll definitely use the number 1 die and we'll grab ourselves a pig. That's kind of a no-brainer, that's what we need at the moment, so we'll do that. The AI is going to take off the other number 1, which leaves us with probably a number 5 is going to get used by everyone, so we don't have to worry about that too much. So basically it's a choice between a number 3 and a number 5, so 2 more goods. I think the 2 more goods maybe, and we could put them both into grapes and then just sell them as an anytime action to get more money. So actually we might very well do that. We can't use both of them as grapes, we have to use one of them as something else. So 1 grape and 1 what? Does it really matter? It's a coin apiece for olives or wheat, so no, not particularly. Okay, we'll do that. Okay. And then we've got... So that was the number 3 we used. Did I mess up slightly? We used the number 1, didn't we? That was for the pig, yep. Then the AI took off 1, then we used the number 3, that's right. Then the AI takes off 5, which leaves us with another 5. So we could do... The trouble is, if we're not... We're going to take off 2 of those for the market barrow, which leaves just the olive. We could upgrade it and get 1 siesta, but if we only get 1 siesta, that's going to not be enough to push us up the recommended number of spaces. So unfortunately I think we're going to have to skip upgrading the olive, and it's just going to sit in our fields and clog it up for next round. But we will get to upgrade twice on the siesta track and do that. And then we can go into transportation, and this is where we get to go first and do our entire transportation phase before the AI does anything. So we're going to take our 4 deliveries from the donkey this time, plus an extra one, plus an extra siesta as per our bonus, so that puts us up there, which means we get to stay in first, that's great. Then we get to do our deliveries, so we have 5 in total. Well, let's do the pig first and get that one out of the way. So that goes up there. We then get all this cleared off, one of which gets to stay out to show we've done that particular area, and we get the point for it, which is good. We get the tile benefit, which is going to be an immediate 2 points. So we'll take a 3 and put 1 back. And we also get the round, or the number of points for the round as well. So we're in round 3, so we get additional 3 points, even better. So that was 1 delivery. We've got 4 left, 2 of which are going to be, I think, to that market barrier, which we'll get that completed. We'll do that in a second. An additional 2, this will have uncovered by now when we cleared out that area there, so we'll get the point for that. An additional 2 can be 2 more coins up to that area, which is looking good for completing that at some point soon, if we can get a lot more coins. Okay, and I believe that was all our deliveries done, so we can now do this market barrow. So we've got all the goods on it, it comes out automatically onto the board. We've got a trade commodity, so one of those tokens can come back as a trade commodity. One of them can go out, and all the number 2 spaces are filled, so we will knock out one of the AI markers ones and put ours in its place. So we get a total of 3 points for that, 2 for the space, 1 for the marker, and that then just goes out the game because we've finished it. And then it's now the AI to do its transportation phase, so it will draw a card and it will place a marker in the number 4 space. Well, that's a shame because that's basically knocking out the marker we just placed. But there's not a whole lot we could have done about that really, so fair enough. At least we got some points for it. So that is fine. And then we're up to cleanup, so we don't get any points unfortunately for having markers in the main area. We are going to get a point for the siesta. Let's try and tidy up some of these somewhat, shall we? So that's 5 markers, 5 points, sorry. And we'll go to 5, that's better. Okay. We reset siesta track and new roof tiles. So again, more goods which we're not particularly fussed about, or possibly 4 coins for an upgrade while we have 1 coin. So no, I think is the answer to that one. And we're into the next round. So more card play, and at this point it might be worth making use of some of our upgraded goods. So we have this one we can place out as a market barrier. I'm not particularly fussed by the ability, so sure. We've got this one as a market barrier. That's a whole lot of upgraded goods, which is something we can certainly try and do. And it would be a lot of points and put us in good stead for knocking out some AA markers. Or at least 1 AA marker over there. So yeah, that might be worth doing instead. We've certainly got the raw resources to upgrade into the various bits and pieces, apart from the pig. Well, okay, sure, we'll try that. So we'll play this there as our card. Like so. We'll get a new one into our hand. So that when you make a delivery to a craft building, you may make 1 free delivery to a market barrow. Well, that may or may not come in handy later on. We might play that for its ability at some point, we'll see. We get some various income. This now gets flipped over as well. So that says in phases 2 and 3, whenever we grab one of these bonus tiles, we get an additional 2 points. Yeah, that's handy, that's very handy. Okay. And we're going to get some goods income. We're going to get another wheat, another grape, which we're going to have to upgrade, I think, fairly soon. Okay. Roof tiles, no, again, we're going to miss out on buying them simply because we don't have the coins for it. And probably given the fact we're going to start trying to ship coins to the next area of the board is unlikely to change in the next round, so we'll leave that for the time being, and we're on to rolling of the dice. So number 3, more goods we don't need, some card play which may come in handy, and some upgrades. Right, well the AI now is going to take goods from the bottom down, bottom up basically. So 4, 5 and 6 is going to take the highest value die. So it's going to take the 5 first if we don't grab it straight away. We are first, so we could very well take it, in which case all it's going to do is take off some resources, which I'm not that fussed about, so fine. I think we can definitely take the number 5, and we could certainly use the 2 upgrades it's giving us, so one of which will be grapes into wine, and then one of which can be, do we need olives or wheat for anything? Not at the immediate times, so we can use one of them certainly for olives into food, which means we're going to need one more upgrade. Okay. And then we're going to need a pig, which is also going to get upgraded at some point. So that's fine. Okay, that's not too bad. We can certainly get the pig from our trade commodity, if nothing else. We don't have any dice on the available options which are going to give us pigs, so we might have to use our trade commodity instead. Well, that was our die action. The AI is going to take off a number 3, and then we get... I am tempted to say 2 number 2s. One of them is going to be a definite because that's going to be the one that everyone uses. So basically we either get more goods or we get, I think, a card play actually. So we use a number 2 die and we'll get our Wagoner Servant into play as an additional ability because we are going to be delivering to a craft building with our coins, which we're going to get in just a second. So we could very well make use of the free deliveries to the market barrow as well, so that's fine. And then as part of an anytime action, I think we're going to use our merchant, and it's a ×1, so we can use it once per round, so we'll put a marker on just to indicate we've used it this particular round. And we will make use of round number 4 by spending a victory point, and we'll get 4 coins, and we'll start shipping those coins straight away basically. These should have reset at the end of round 3, so we have all 4 available to us. Okay. So then the AI, so we're still in dice actions, even though we're busy doing other actions in between, and the AI is going to take off for number 3, which leaves everyone with the ability to do the number 2, which is again another card play, or a good of some kind. So I'm not fussed about the farm girl and the market woman. Each time you return 1 trade commodity, you may spend 3 silver to take 2 different revenues. Actually, if we play that one, we could return this trade commodity and we could make use of the pig revenue, which is what we wanted to use it for initially, and we could spend 3 to get 4 coins. That seems like it might be a good idea, but I'm not sure if we want to use our final ability slot to put that into play. Although we are running out of rounds, so if we don't use it now, we may not find a better use for it in the future. So then, do we want to do this or not? I think... I'm going to say yes. Am I going to say yes, or am I actually going to play this market barrow instead? So that'd be wheat, which we need to get rid of anyway, and some wine, which we have an overabundance, and that would leave this market barrow for later on. So, yeah, maybe rather than wasting an upgrade slot on the market woman, which possibly might help, but I'm not 100% convinced, we'll do it for the market barrow, the farm girl's market barrow, and we can certainly make use of that, I suspect. So we'll do that. Right, so that was our final die action with the card play, so that's now into place. And we are all done with cards, so we can move on to transportation. We get to do ours first again before the AI comes in and, well, it's got nothing else to muck us around with, but that's fair enough. So we could very well use, what am I thinking here, 4 deliveries, which would also get us a 5th, and we could use the Wagoner Servant to then make a delivery to a market barrow. Or we could, basically I think it's going to be all or nothing at this point. So we either do a bunch of deliveries and not worry about the siesta track, or do very few deliveries and try and get enough points on the siesta track to guarantee us first place next round. That would be 3 deliveries, and we could spend an additional coin to do a 4th shipment and still get our market barrow starting to be filled up as well. But that wouldn't complete the market barrow, and I'd rather complete it this round and get some points for it. I think we'll go with the 4 deliveries and leave it at that. So yeah, we're going to last internal next round, but hopefully that won't impact us too much. So we'll do 4 deliveries, and that should be fine. We're not going to go up on the, well, we're going to go up on the sister 1 space, but that's neither here nor there, which does unfortunately mean we are in now 2nd place. And then we can do our 4 deliveries plus our bonus one, which is a 5th. So 4 of them are going to be coins. And rather than mess around, we're going to pretend that we've got all this space filled up, which is fine. So we'll do that. We get this space occupied, which is going to be an additional coin. We get this bonus coming to us, which is now income at every beginning of the round, which is great. We also get an additional 3 coins for the one-time use. So that's that. So that's more coins back. That's fine. We get, what do we get? We're in round 4, so we get 4 points for that, plus an additional 2 because of our bonus. That's a total of 6. Okay. We can then utilize our wagoner servant. So we made a delivery to a craft building, so we can make a free delivery to a market barrow, and we're going to take our wine and place it on our market barrow there. So that's our free delivery. So we made 4 deliveries. We still have 1 bonus delivery, which is going to be a corn, and that will get placed out onto a market barrow as well. So that is that one completed. Am I missing anything? We got the coins for that, we got the points for that. Oh, we should have unlocked this particular area, getting us an additional point. And I'll do the market barrow first, but then we could pay for 1 additional delivery as per our board and put something out here. And we'll see. So market barrow, that comes off with an additional trade commodity. And we get a market into space number 3, which we'll place there, which gets us 3 points for the space, and we knock out one of the AIs, so that's 4 in total. So that, and I'm sure the AI is going to come in a second and knock us out of there again, but never mind. So, and then this is completed and can just go out. And now we could pay for an additional delivery. We could spend a coin and deliver some of our olives or even the trade commodities. We are stockpiling some of them. And we want to use at least one of them for a pig if we don't get an option on a die roll, and then process it into meat. So that leaves one of them we could probably ship out. But I think on the whole we might save these for options if we need them later on. So we'll probably leave those for the time being. So we won't spend the extra coin, we won't make extra delivery. We'll leave that as it is. And we'll go into the AI's transportation phase, which is going to be number 2. Okay, that's good. So it places it out in an available area. Here I think is slightly less likely to be knocked out than if it was going to place it here, so that's where it will go. And it doesn't bump us out because it's a lower value, so that's fine, which is good. So we're on to points for the various areas. So we get 1 point for having a marker in the main area. We don't get any points, unfortunately, for the siesta track, but never mind. That comes back down. We're down to round 5. So we could spend 5 coins. We do not have 5 coins. And again, I don't really like the look of these at all, so that's fine. Well, we're going to get, so let's see, we're going to get one card to play at phase 1, and is it even worth... We've got a market barrier that's going to take a lot of stuff to fill up, so we might just try and focus on that for the time being. We could play this to the right hand side and get an increased card limit. And we could play it for the ability. Again, I don't believe I want to waste what could be a final slot for this, so no. And we're okay on fields at the moment. We've got lots of stuff coming in on fields, so that's fine. Yeah, I think we'll play it for the right hand side, and that will then give us the ability to make extra deliveries and increase our hand limit. So that means we now get 4 cards, so we're up to 4 now. We get +1. Okay, then do we want to make any use of these? First, extra delivery is free. That could be useful. Increase hand limit by 1, not that fussed. Anytime you play a card, you may also discard 1 additional card. Well, that's a way of shuffling through your hand if you're not happy with what you've got. You may pay for roof markers with upgraded goods. That could be handy. We are probably going to have certainly some upgraded goods kicking around once we've filled out this market barrow, or at least the ability to make upgraded goods, so we could very well play that. Yes, that might be a final card play then. And the farm worker, spend a victory point to play a card. Well, not that fussed about that. So, on to income. We're going to get... that should have flipped over. So we get 3 income from that. So we've got some coins now. We are going to get nothing else for income. We're going to get some goods income. So our fields are stacking up nicely. Good. These should come off because they're available to use now again. And we now can buy a roof tile. We do have enough coins to buy one. It's going to be an extra delivery, or it's going to be some more goods. Either way, it's getting a point, basically, at this point, I think, is the only thing we'd ever worry about. So we spend 5 coins and we get a point for filling up the tile space. If we spend 5, we have 2 left over, and I don't think we're that fussed about coins now. We've completed the market area, which worries about coins, so we don't have to worry about that too much. And there's nothing else we really want to, unless we want to buy bits and pieces with coins, but I think we can get them in various other ways. So no, I think possibly we may very well just spend the 5 coins. We'll get the roof tile that gives us extra delivery. I think we're going to probably need extra deliveries fairly soon. And we'll get the point, and that's just an extra point, so that's not too bad at all. So can we accommodate some of these? So 3 3s and a 1. And we'll get a 10. And that's, what's this, a load of 1s. Okay, we'll put these back and we'll grab a 5, and that will help clear out some of the clutter somewhat. Right. So then we're up to, we bought the roof tile, we're up to rolling of the dice, and unfortunately we're second, so the AI is going to take off something first of all. Well, there's a pig if we need it. Right. So the AI is going to take off this one straight away, there's nothing we can do about that. And we could certainly leave the pig, because that will be the last die, and therefore the AI is not going to take that. We can certainly leave that to be used by everybody. So we may very well want to grab the 5 first of all, and start getting some upgrades in. So olive can very well become processed food, and that's a bit of a shame, because we would have liked to use... The trouble is, if we don't take this off now and get the 2 upgrades, the AI is going to come along and grab it next. So unfortunately we can't hold off one more turn and grab the pig first and then get that upgraded. So what we might try and do instead is spend a trade commodity to get a pig straight away. No. Well, I think unfortunately either way we're going to have to spend a trade commodity, either for the pig right now and then make use of the upgrade, or later on when we have the pig from the die for the upgrades. So unfortunately either way I think we're going to have to use the trade commodity. But c'est la vie. So fine, before we took the die, as part of at any time, we'll use the trade commodity, we'll cash it in for a pig, then we grab the die and we can do upgrades, one of which was the olives to food, and then one of which is the pig to processed meat. So that is done. AI is going to grab this die, which we're not fussed about because we have goods coming out our ears at this point, which leaves us with a number 2, and we could make use of a card. Do we want to try and do more market barrows then? What do we have an abundance of? We have an abundance of olives, and we have some leftover grapes on our field. Certainly we could do this particular one. We could do the wagon, or this particular market barrow, which is one of each. I don't think it's worth necessarily spending a lot of resources to go into here. And again, I think the trade commodities are far too precious to be used shipping them here, especially at this late stage in the game where we're not going to get too much benefit from the extra income from the trade commodity tile there. We don't have the pig resources to go into that. We probably should have been breeding pigs from the start if we wanted to bother with this one. So at this point it's probably just trying to get as much stuff into market barrows out onto the main board for points and end of round points. So this one I think is probably not a bad idea. It's one of everything. We have sufficient goods. Yeah, I think we'll go for this one. So this is our reward for taking the action. We'll get a card played, and that can go on the top there. Oh, I should have realised when we played this card to our right hand side of the board, we have to spend goods for it. So we'll spend a victory point or a coin, either one. Yeah. You can see at the top here that the first card you have to basically spend 1 of anything really, and then the second one is 2 of anything, and they have to be unique, and the third one so on and so forth. So we had to pay for that one, but that's all fine now. Right, so back to dice actions, and the final one gives us a pig, so we'll do that, which may or may not come in handy later on, we shall see. And then we are on to transportation. So AI is going to go first in the transportation phase. It's going to block off a number 5 space, which is not going to muck us about. That's great. There's no 5 space that's next to our marker, so it would have liked to take that, but it's not going to. And instead it's going to go either way. So it has 2 options up the top here where if it gets placed it's not going to get knocked out because there's either no space or spaces are lower. If it gets placed here, it may get knocked out by a number 6 that comes along, so it's not likely to do that. So either way, we'll place it there. It's not a hard and fast rule for placing the AI markers, it's just basically whatever is in its best interest, really. So we'll do that. And then we get to do our transportation phase in its entirety. And we're going to have, let's see, we could do 2 shipments, 2 siestas plus an additional siesta. That would allow us to be first for the final round, and that would be 3 deliveries. We could pay for an extra delivery, which would be the 4 needed for this one. So yeah, we could do that. Unfortunately, if we're not shipping to these areas anymore, we're not going to make much use of the Wagoner Servant, which is a bit of a shame. Maybe short-sighted play on the card on my part, but never mind. So fine, we'll do that, and we'll get 3 deliveries, and we can always buy an extra one, which will be just enough, and that will allow us to save this tile for the last round in case we need to make a bunch of deliveries and get stuff cleared out. So fine. So 3 steps on siesta track, which is enough for first, which we get to be first now. Good. So 3 deliveries, and it's going to be 2 of the food and 1 of the wine, and then we can pay for, well, we can basically only afford 1 extra delivery, but we have the ability to do 2 extra deliveries if you want to do so. So we'll pay the 1 coin, we'll get our extra delivery of food, meat, sorry, and that is that market barrier completed. So that all comes off. We're going to get 1 back as a trade commodity. We're going to get 1 out onto space number 6, and there is only this one available, so that's fine. We get 6 points for that. And unfortunately we don't knock out any of the AI's markers, but never mind. And that is done. Okay, so on to some cleanup. We now have 2 markers in the available areas, so we get 2 points. We are going to get an additional point for the siesta track, and that then comes back, and we get to see what the final roof tiles are for the last round. So, okay. Oh, and I forgot to use my, well, we can save that, that's fine, we can save this this delivery for next round if we so wish. But we do get to flip over a roof tile if we grab this one and make use of it again. So we could flip this for a delivery and then reflip it and get an extra delivery, or we could get an additional pig. That's not necessarily a bad idea, actually. It wouldn't be quite enough time to make use of it for breeding, unfortunately, but still, extra pig is not too bad. We could certainly sell it and get some money. Right, we'll see. So on to the final round, phase 1, so we're going to do cards, and I don't believe we don't have enough coins, so unless we get the joiner for our card play, and no, we don't have enough upgraded goods to make use of money. So actually, unfortunately, after saying all that, we don't actually have the coins to buy a roof marker. So never mind. I don't believe I want to use any of these for their ability, so fine. It's just the market barrier then. And we might very well want to, well, this is a pig and some food and some olives, and we have all of that kind of stuff, so we might very well do that one. It's the most points of what we've got left. It is the most goods, but I think we can probably accomplish it. So yeah, for our card play, we'll put that in as a market barrier. That's going to require 6 deliveries. We can get 3, we can get 4, we can buy additional 2, we have to get the coins for it, that's probably not insurmountable. So yes, I think we can probably just about manage all that, so fine. On to, let's see, on to refill, so we can get 4 cards, or 2 to bring us up to 4, and we'll look at them if we get an option to play cards later on. That's not a priority right now. On to goods income, we're going to get 3 coins, which is going to be useful for extra deliveries. We're going to get, unfortunately, only 1 field filling back up again. We've been somewhat lax in getting these cleared out, but never mind. Right, and then roof tiles, and again, we probably could have bought one if we played the joiner and done some trade commodity shenanigans in getting an upgraded good to upgrade to a food, which would then trade in for 3 coins plus the extra 3 plus, which would buy a roof tile. I don't think it would have been worth it that much, so we'll leave that, and that's fine. So no roof tiles for the time being. Onto the dice, and we do get to go first. We don't have to worry about the AI taking out anything we particularly want. That's 2 6s, so that's several deliveries. That could be very useful, or coins even. The pig is going to get used by everybody, so that's a pig there. We might even be able to have enough pigs to place in there if we can use a trade commodity. And, well, unfortunately we're only getting one of these dice for shipments. The other one is going to get used up by the AI. But even so, 6 goods, and we could make use of our wagoner servant and get another market barrow delivery. And we're in round 6, so we could spend a point, to make use of the current round as per revenues. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's, I think, going to be sufficient if my calculations are not completely off. Okay, so we'll use the number 6 die, and we'll make 1 delivery. And we have to get some upgrades. We could use another trade commodity for several upgrades. What do we need upgraded? Just the food, to be honest. We've got 2 olives, we've got the wheat, we've got the grapes. So we need the pig, yep. And, I don't think we're going to have enough pigs, unfortunately. We could spend coins to upgrade, so how much will we spend? 2 coins, and then that would save the other trade commodity for more pigs. And we should have just enough space for all the pigs. So, if we spend... We aren't going to spend money on anything else, are we? No. Okay, so we'll spend 2 coins as an anytime action, and we'll shuffle over one of our grapes to... Nope, yes, to food. So we'll do... Oh no, it can't be grapes, sorry, it has to be wheat. Yep, we've got wheat to spare, so wheat is fine. So wheat as a food. So that was an anytime action. The number 6 was a delivery, and we can deliver out one of our pigs to here. Then we can, as part of a delivery to a craft building, we can make a free delivery to a market barrow, and we'll block off that action to show we've used it. So we can then transfer this food over to this market barrow. So that's all fine, that's comboing well so far. We've got, the AI is going to take out number 6 die as part of its turn, which leaves us with 2 trade commodities being used as any times for 2 pigs. We're going to get another pig from that action, so it's just all about the delivering now, isn't it? We can then... Do we need to make use of number 5 for anything? Siesta tracks. I suppose that would eventually give us an extra point. Coins, we're okay on coins, I think. We're not that fussed about coins. So either way, let's go for the extra points then. So we'll spend the number 5 and we'll get 2 steps up on the siesta. We don't have to upgrade anything at the moment. So that's fine. And as per the merchant, we will spend a victory point. I think this is going to give us better returns on it. To get a round 6 revenue, which is going to be another delivery, and we'll push out this pig over here. Yep, we'll do that. Okay. We want to get this completed first for points rather than... Yes, want to get that completed first. So that's fine. Okay. So, siesta track, did the merchant, got the shipment out. Yep, okay, I think we're still good. Then the AI is going to take off the number 4, and then everyone gets the number 1 as an option to use, so we'll grab another pig for that, that's fine. Then we are on to transportation phase. So we have this tile left over, which we can use. So that's going to be, well, 2 additional steps. That's an extra point on the siestas, more than what I was expecting, so that's fine. Plus 3 deliveries, 4 deliveries, and we can buy... Oh dear. one bonus one. I was expecting 2 bonus ones. Oh, we might have to sell something. Okay, we can sell stuff, that's fine. Okay. So we'll do the 4 main deliveries first. So one of which is going to be an extra pig over to here. And then that gets that cleared out. So let's keep track of all this, shall we? So we've done 1 delivery out of our 4. So that is then finished. We get this filled up. We get the point for that. We get this, which is going to be points per market barriers you got on your area. So that's another 2. We'll take a 3, we'll put 1 back. And we also get, so what round are we in? 6. So round 6 plus an additional 2 points is going to be 8 in total for all of that. So we'll put 2 back and get ourselves a 10, that's fine. That doesn't unfortunately flip over until the end of the round, so what we have gotten, an extra point if we make market barrier deliveries. That would have been useful, but it's fine, we got other points for market barriers, so that's okay. So we'll hold off on that. Right, so we did 1 delivery, which was a pig, which cascaded all of that, and we don't unlock any more areas, so we don't have to worry about that. Then we do a 2nd delivery, which is going to be olives. Good. And a 3rd delivery, which is the pig. Good. And then a 4th delivery, which will be the grape. And that is our main deliveries done with. So we'll hold off on anything else for the time being, and we'll get this market barrier completed. So that goes out into a number 4 spot, and we have here, I think, is best use of it. Got markers all over the place, I'm not sure what they're from. So that can go there. That gets us 4 points. We'll take a 5, we'll put 1 back. We don't have any 1 to put back. Okay, we'll take 3 and a 1. So that is 4 for that, and we get trade commodity. Okay, so we've got coins for that trade commodity if necessary, that's fine. Okay, and then that is done with. If I can, no, I can't get off the table, we'll just leave it there. Right, then we're on to siestaing, which is fine, and then we're still going to be first, which is also fine. And then we can do additional deliveries, so we can buy 1 with a coin, and that will be olives. And then we have no more money, so we have to get money from somewhere to do our 2nd additional delivery. And either way, we're going to have to convert these into coins at the end of the game, so we may as well give up this olive, yep, that's fine, for a coin, and then spend the coin to deliver this wheat. And then that's that one done. So we get another trade commodity back, we get another marker out onto a number 3 spot this time. And again, unfortunately, we're not going to be knocking out any AI markers. And it's highly likely at this point we're going to get ourselves knocked out, but never mind. We got the 3 points for placing that out, so fine. And then that's that one completed. So done. And I think we're finished. Yeah, okay, I think we're done. Good. So we'll do some end of round. Oh, no, not quite. The AI has to occupy number 3 space. And it's going to go anywhere here, I think, is the best place it can be, and it's not going to knock out any of ours, that's fine. And there's no other options it can take. Nope, okay, so that's fine. Good. On to cleanup. So we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 points for having areas on the board filled up. So that. We're going to get 2 points for the siesta. Additional 2. Siesta track will reset, we don't have to worry about that. Roof tiles would reset, we don't have to worry about that. So, end of game then. Basically you convert whatever's left into coins. Oh, we had... Well, I'm going to be a tad sneaky, and I'm going to give myself an extra coin and pretend I'd noticed that we had this roof tile still to use and flip it over and make that extra delivery. So that would have been the extra delivery, and we wouldn't have had to spend a coin on it. So, good. Then at the end of the game we transfer everything into coins, so we can sell this grape for 2 coins. We can do these trade commodities into 4 coins apiece for a total of 10. No, a total of 8 even. And then you get 1 additional point per 5 coins. So we have 11, so that's 2 extra points. Like so. Is that right? Yes. And then you tally up your score. So we have a total score of 30, 40, 50, 64, 63, something like that. Let's try that again, shall we? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 64. So yeah, final score of 64. I don't think that's too bad. So yeah, that's the solo game of La Granja. If you hadn't already guessed, I quite like the game a lot. It's very good at comboing stuff. It has the nice card play for determining multiple actions on cards, so you have quite a lot of possibly analysis paralysis going through that, but I think once you work out what kind of route you're going for, stuff kind of flows together well, and you can try and tailor your farm area to going for that particular route. The AI doesn't, so in the solo game the AI doesn't get in the way too much. It mostly makes use of blocking off the central market area and knocking out your markers quite a bit, to be honest, but there we go, that's not too bad. And requires you to think about the possible choices for the die rolls, because obviously you can determine what it's going to take off depending on what round you're in, so you can figure out which way you need to process that. So it's quite good for learning the game. It doesn't get in the way of things too much and allows you to input a reasonable amount of strategy into working around its machinations. It doesn't require too much of a siesta track. I think we were about 50% going first, so it's not too bad. And yeah, all in all, it flows on quite nicely and allows you to really get into, I think, the comboing strategy, which is the meat of the game. So yeah, solo game of La Granja. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.